take us through that last play.
Coach drew up a killer play, first of all. And then Toya set a monster screen, and they got caught up in it, and I was open and knew I had to let it fly very quickly, just kind of let it go, and luckily hit my first 3 of the game. It's about time, right?
You leave the best player in the WNBA open. Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to interview her.
I appreciate that.
Before the game, it's always really physical with them, but how do you kind of keep your focus in a game that I don't know, the energy felt a little weird tonight.
It did feel a little
maybe
bit
the late
weird.
Start or something.
I don't know. It just was a little funky. Didn't feel like we were getting into a rhythm, but we were able to kind of start pulling some stops together, help one another. We felt like we needed to dig a lot more on their bigs because they had so many in the paint points in that first half. So we were able to kind of clean that up a little bit, and then luckily at the end, I thought Panda got fouled at first too. So it was good we were able to get it back and get another chance at it.
What do you mean for you guys in a chippy game like this? You guys probably play your best to come out with the win at the end.
Yeah, it's huge. Even though it's a condensed season, it's still a pretty long season, and there's games where you don't have the right mojo or the right energy all the time. But to come away with a win, being at home, it's really important to get wins at home. So it was huge for us to come away with this one, even though it was a little bit ugly.
Shatori got the start tonight. What did you see from her tonight? What have you seen in her growth since
she had a monster game. Really just kind of gave us a spark right away that we needed to start the game. And then Tori's just always a spark of energy for us, whether she's on the court or off the court. She's so important to us. Just the energy and excitement that she brings. So it was awesome to see her go off like that. And she's been doing it in practice, so no surprise.
Good evening. Welcome everybody. It's another wonderful week. Man, the last 48 hours have been crazy. We've been waiting for NBA free agency to heat up, and it wasted no time. It started a little slow at first, then it's heated up, and each days went by. We're only a couple days into it because it started July 1st. This is July 3rd, so it's literally been a rowdy 48 hours. But we're going to start this show with our Mystic segment, as you saw with Elena, top of the show, talking about her big-time game winner she hit against the New York Liberty. So we're almost done with this homestand that they're currently on. They're 3 games into it. The 4th game is going to be played this Thursday against the New York Liberty, the same team in which she hit that shot. Very big shot, might I add. They're currently 2-1 on this recent homestand. Their last game, though, things didn't go as planned. They lost to the Phoenix Mercury, 84-74. Big games from DeWanna Bonner and Brittany Griner. The Mystics is right now, they're 10-6 overall, so that's good enough for 4th in the league. Keep in mind the WNBA, they're doing something that all of a sudden NBA fans are randomly clamoring for over the last 48 hours, which is, the playoffs are just the top teams in the league, regardless of conference. But again, they're 4th in the league overall, but they still remain 1st in the East. I believe they're a full game up on the Connecticut Sun now. The last couple games, sometimes, we talk about all the time, you don't realize how important something is until it's not there anymore. That can definitely be said about, the energy and the contributions from Washington's 2 rookies this year. Past couple games they played without Ariel Atkins, limited minutes for Maisha Hines-Allen. And, you just miss them. I know they're young, but you could definitely see, certain points of the game and with that energy, some of the stuff they do that feeds to their teammates, it was just a little bit lacking at times. Cardell, your thoughts on, just the homestand thus far? And, as I just said about them missing the 2 youngsters.
They did what they're supposed to do. They definitely miss that energy from Atkins and Maisha Hines. They usually bring that spark off the bench, no matter how the Mystics start. They start off slow or maybe someone's being physical. They come in with their youthful energy, and it fires up the vets, And then that's when you got the whole team going. The reason why they lost to the Mercury was the Mercury just destroy them inside. We could just keep it simple. They went through Bonner, who's one of the most versatile players in the WNBA. 6'5". She can play the 3, 4, and 5. And then Brittany Griner, who's the most dominant force inside in the league. Straight up simple. It was nothing. I could tell in the first game when the Mystics won at Phoenix, they try to go blow for blow on the perimeter, and that played right into the Mystics' hands because they have a lot of depth and a lot of talent on that side. But when it came to when they came back, they was well prepared. They attacked them inside. They challenged LaToya Sanders. They challenged Crystal Thomas, and they said, "We're gonna make you adjust." And the Mystics had a hard time doing that. Bonner finished with 23 and 8. Brittany Griner finished with 24-7, 4 assists and 3 blocks. I mean, even Sancho Little, who went down, she only played 20 minutes. She went down with an ACL tear. Prayers out to her. She's out for the season. That's unfortunate. She had 8 points and 8 rebounds in 20 minutes. So their entire front line were near double-doubles. So that just tell you how dominant they were inside by pounding them. Deladon did what she could. She finished with 27 points a game high, 13 rebounds. But she didn't really get too much help from the others, and because they had their hands full trying to slow down those girls. Basically, Phoenix' entire front line nearly scored 60 points and 24 rebounds, just from those three. And the Mystics front court outside of Deladon only had 17 points and 10 rebounds. So, that's where they lost the game. Diana Taurasi, TRP, and Taylor Hill, they did a great job on her. She was, 2 for 13 from the field. It didn't matter. She still had 9 assists and found a way to get 7 points. And like I said, it just came down to inside play, and, the Mercury, they just messed them up, and there was nothing that the Mystics could do to recover. But with that being said, they still had opportunities to win.
Yeah.
So they just have to come back, scout that game, adjust, and then, they'll see them down the road. But they all right there. No team has really separated themselves. It was like, all right, everybody going after them. Right now, the Mystics and Mercury are 1-1. They both won at home. So, they both won on the road. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and I love that you brought that up. They had chances to win that game. Late in the fourth quarter, they're down 3. After they get a stop, they turn the ball over. That was a very costly turnover. They come the next trip, the ensuing possession for the Mercury. They drop the ball down into Griner. It gets back on perimeter. Skip it across to Yvonne Turner, and she knocks down a wide open 3. Because as you said, they had to double inside, and it hurt, but they had a chance. If you convert on that possession, it's a one score game now. And they did,
and one thing they did that no one really picked up that they did a great job coming into this game was they knew they was gonna focus on Taurasi.
Yeah.
So what they did, they knew they was gonna put TRP, who's the defensive stopper for the Mystics, on her. But that, but what that does is it left Christie on Bonner, and they just let Bonner go at her. Because Christie couldn't really do nothing. She can't hide. She's gonna have to guard somebody.
Right.
It's either gonna be Taurasi or Bonner. You know what I mean? And it was lights out. Once Bonner got going, it was just a wrap after that. Because now it's like we gotta stop this fire and doing inside and out. And then Griner's going to work. And even Griner defensively, the way she got on guard all the perimeter, players for the Mystics, all the guards, like they didn't even try to switch. Like when she switched on them, they just let her. And her length bothered them. Yeah. And her length bothered their shots, and that's why they didn't shoot well at all themselves. So, it was a great game playing by the Mercury. So, that's why they tops in the league right now.
Yep, and then to end the homestand, we'll be playing in Liberty again, like we shared at the beginning of the segment. In that first game that ended 80 to 77 with the buzzer beater, one of the things that Liberty did was they switched everything defensively, and it really kind of disrupted the rhythm of the Mystics offense. So I'm anxious to see, the second time the Mystics see this, how they deal with it. They dealt with it a little bit better as the game went on, but for the first couple of quarters, New York really had them out of their comfort zone. With their ball pressure defensively, they were able to switch, and their bigs didn't get exposed. And it was just a really great job by them. One thing that I've taken away from this homestand, LaToya Sanders, games, teams kind of play off her because you're worried about some of the other perimeter players. The Mystics outside of Deladon don't exactly get a lot of points from her, her post partner. In this homestand against Liberty in that first game, LaToya was very active, and it changed things. She's the thing that kind of helped balance things out. Was when she's a little bit more assertive offensively, it kind of screws up what the defensive game plans are. If you can't leave her, that means you can't help somewhere else, and that means that's one less person to send a double down to EDD. And if she's seeing single coverage, she's gonna do what it is that she does.
Exactly.
So just keep that in mind going forward. Obviously I'm not I'm not saying that Latoya needs to go out and average 20 and 10 or anything like that, but just by her being a little bit assertive, it's going to throw a wrench in how teams prepare for the defense.
She's capable, my man.
Yeah, and
when she shoots,
yes.
It don't even hit rim. So she could get you between 10 to 15 a game, just being within the flow of the offense. That's all you really asking from her. So, like I said, Brittany Griner's a handful for anybody, so I'm not faulting her for, what happened with that. Can't nobody stop her in the league. It is what it is. But, she can make them pay on the offense, and she can kind of even things out.
Yeah, and the other thing about the loss of Phoenix, they're the best road team in the league.
Yeah, they're better at home. They're on the road, better on the road than at home. That's great.
They are 9-2 on the road. That's what that win gave them. They are 4-3 at home. Yeah. So just keep that in perspective. We're not saying obviously neither one of us are saying, hey, it's a moral victory. No, we're just simply saying that is a tough team to beat even when you're the home team. Because on the road, for whatever reason, all those ingredients fit just right. I don't know what's going on at home in Phoenix. And Brittany Griner kind of alluded to that as well. Kind of like, at the end of our post-game interview, kind of like, no, we played all our games on the road. Our record is better. But that's a huge disparity between 9-2 and 4-3. Kudos to them. But still, if you're the Mystics, it's not a bad place to be. You're fourth in the league, first in the East. And you're still, they're still not where they need to be yet. We're about to approach the midway point of this very compressed season. But, you could be far worse than first in your conference.
Definitely.
And fourth in the league. Right now, they're tied for fourth with Minnesota heating up as of late, which is just no surprise to anybody. But that concludes our WNBA segment for this week. If you get a chance, go ahead and vote for your WNBA All-Stars. And then next week, and I meant to do it this week, but we got a lot to talk about. Next week, we're going to take some time and look at this rookie class. I mean, really break down this WNBA rookie class because, Lord, it is special. You talked about Asia.
Yeah.
If this was a dude in the NBA as a rookie doing what she's doing right now, there's a couple times where she joined Candace Parker on a very exclusive list in which no other bigs are on that list, just her and Candace. Candace is one of those again. If this was a man, Candace would be one of those unicorns we'd be talking about. Mm-hmm. So for you to be on that list, Asia right now is crazy. And what I like the most is even the team. It's not strictly like a point per game type thing from a contribution with this rookie class. It's hard. It's hard of the WNBA to kind of carve out minutes as a rookie versus an NBA where there's extra roster spots, there's time. You can have weeks or stretches during the year where you just don't play and no one makes a big deal about it. The rookie wall, all that other stuff. They don't have time for the rookie wall. It's a compressed season. Mm-hmm. You got to hit on your picks and you got to contribute. There's only 12 roster spots. That means there's a lot of players in this class that are in the regular rotations, which I deeply applaud, because you're being counted on. You're not just asked like, hey, if you do something that's great. Now you got to come in, whatever your role may be. That they're asking something consistent out of you every night, and a lot of these young women have come into the league and they're doing that thus far.
I'm impressed. Asia, for the men that don't watch the WNBA, it's kind of the equivalent of what Kareem did when he came in the NBA. That's how dominant she is. Like she's not only dominating, she's taking teams out, contenders, and it's consistent. It's along those lines. She's doing the inside jumpers, post work, the defense, hedging out, guarding guards, blocking shots, assists, knowing when the double team coming, all stuff you would think it would take her a couple years to figure out. She's doing it now, so it's scary what can happen when she figures it out. Because she's just hooping right now. Like when she figures it out, I know exactly where to go. I know exactly who to give the ball to in the situation. I mean, it's going to be scary, but it's not just her. Kelsey up and what I'm saying, and she doing her thing. We got one here that nobody's really paying attention to, Ariel Atkins. They miss her. I mean, she looked like she might be the best guard on the team already, and that's saying something because they got a lot of talented guards, man. With both hands strapping up, being able to shoot, get to the bucket, pass, man. She's a problem already. So if but look at the depth. She's already starting before the concussion. Yeah, she managed to start. And Sabal don't just give rookie spots, man. You got to earn that with him. He old school. So the fact that she did that, man, you just got kudos to her, man. I love this rookie class. We going to touch more on it next week, but, people need to pay attention.
And all y'all are saying there's nothing to watch right now. If y'all can sit down and watch Summer League, you can tune in and watch WNBA. That league pass is way cheaper than NBA's league pass. So y'all spend money on way other things. Go ahead, man. So go check that out. We're going to take a quick break when we get back. NBA free agency. We told y'all it's been a wild 48 hours. I just need some of y'all to keep the same energy, and I'm going to touch on that in just a little bit. Yes, the Petty's coming out. We about to have some fun. You're watching the Focus TV. He said finally.
Yeah, you've
Wow.
been holding.
Welcome back. Yeah, it was a quick break. Excited to talk about this though. NBA free agency. We got some big names. So you know what I'm saying? People said some things have shifted. We got some people after last night that don't want to even play anymore. So what's the point? Where's the competitive balance? Whole lot of whining. I don't quite understand why. What I will say before we start the segment is everyone who seems to have an issue with some of these signings, I would implore you, if you would like to see a change, you know, question if you're a fan of a team and your front office is kind of less than, it's not quite up to snuff, those are the people in which you need to have an issue with. It's not the players themselves or opposing teams, it's the front office. That being said, NBA free agency, a lot has happened. We got Bron moving, he switched coast full-time now. We already knew he was kind of moving out there the last couple years. It's official now. Bron to LA, got Lance Stevenson, KCP, Rondo to join him out there. JaVale McGee. Ilyasova went to the Bucks. Van Vliet stayed in Toronto. Will Barton up with the Nuggets. CP3 stayed in Houston, got a max. Julius Randle to the Pelicans. Elfrid Payton to the Pelicans. We got Dougie McBuckets and Tyreek Evans to the Indiana Pacers. Seth Curry to the Blazers. Mario Hezonja to the Knicks. DeAndre Jordan finally ends up in Dallas. Nobody held him hostage this time. Trevor Ariza is no longer in Houston. He's Phoenix with the kids over there. Marco Bellinelli went back to San Antonio. Rudy Gay, re-up with San Antonio as well. What am I leaving out?
Just the ones that came out today, possibly.
Okay.
Mike Scott went to the Clippers.
Yes.
Your boy Dwight Howard's coming to the Wizards. Jeff Green came to the Wizards.
Looney back with the Warriors.
Oh, they got Looney back?
Yeah, they back with the Warriors.
Nerlens Noel went to the Thunder.
For the low.
They re-upped with Jeremy Grant as well.
Yep.
Of course, PG, re-signed with OKC. What was off the top of my head I can think of?
Oh, yeah, the Boogie one that everyone got mad about.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Got
Boogie went to the Warriors for a 1 year, $5.1 million deal.
5.3.
Excuse me. Give him this extra 2K.
level of
right
Steph
there.
exception
Curry
type
with
thing.
the Blazers now.
Yep.
He went to the Blazers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, all right, we shared a lot of them. I know everybody knows what they
Derrick
are.
Rose re-up with Minnesota.
You are so right. Can't leave that man out. Former MVP Derrick Rose. All right. Oh, Austin Rivers to the Wizards. As
yeah.
well. Can't leave out Austin either. Thomas Bryant to the Wizards as well. So, before we talk about the Wizards and free agency, because we're going to talk about that, what stood out to you? You guys share some of your favorite signings?
Favorite signings. I think it's interesting that LeBron and Lance Stevenson are going to play together now. I just think that's kind of funny. Most interesting, I'm really, and I know we're not talking about the Wizards, but I'm kind of interested to see how Dwight Howard's going to work out here.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fair. We can talk about it a little bit. We're going
just a tad bit, because I was literally walking to my car when it came to my phone. I was like, whoa. Mm-hmm. Well, okay. Let's see how this work out. He's been, been hopping around the league a lot lately, so see if he could find a home here, possibly. You never know.
What was the one that, do you got one that just had you I don't understand? Does one come to mind for you?
Come back to me.
Okay, I got
there
you.
was a bunch of them.
I got you. All right, Cardell?
The one that I don't understand.
Yeah. The one where you're just seriously? What were y'all thinking?
I mean, you can say none of the teams offering Boogie. I understand that. That's one I understand. I know he's coming off an ACL tear. I mean, not ACL, Achilles.
I got one.
But, man, look, that dude's still a big-time player, man. He young enough to bounce back. He wasn't really above the run to begin with, so it don't even matter. It ain't like he was had a 45-inch vertical or something. He played on the ground. He played through skill. He played bully ball with the skill. That's his game. So he can recover from that, man. And y'all And I'm hearing all these people mad because he went to the Warriors when your team could have easily offered him. He get nothing. So I'm feeling him. It's like that. Let me call Draymond.
Don't y'all need a third splash,
I'm gonna get
brother?
back. Look, I'll take the load to come with y'all. We gonna win this chip, and I'm gonna get back, and I'm gonna prove my mark. And then next year, when I'm healthy, I'm hitting y'all hard. I need 250, man. I'm gonna be in the highest play. It's gonna be ugly, and that's what you do. So I'm not mad at him for that, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny, certain people from that associated with LA, the Lakers, they wanted Boogie. They were just geeking over, and we gonna get Boogie's a rep for the Warriors. Then he goes to the Warriors. Now they in their feelings. And, they salty and stuff like that. So and here come the shade. Oh, he ain't gonna be no good.
Of course, that's what they say.
So I'm like, why did y'all want him in the first place if that was the case? You see what I'm saying? But that's one I didn't understand. Like, no teams, preferably a team in this area that needed a big at the time. I don't care what the Achilles injury, he's still better than what we had before with the White sign. So I just didn't understand that.
With Wall.
But I get the reputation, man. That kills it, man. See, when you down like that and you got a reputation like that, that's when it hurts you. So even though I think he was good in the locker room last year, but overall his career, it's been shaky, man. Kind of got that reputation of being a cancer. So it came back to haunt him now, so he gonna give it a good group of guys the chance and try to prove himself. Like, nah, I'm not the issue. I've grown and my game is gonna show it. So, let's see.
I'm right with you. His reputation definitely preceded him in this type of situation. That being said, and I agree with you wholeheartedly because his reputation, that's been on him. It's been bad this whole time. I give him credit for last year. It's kind of quiet. Seemed like a productive. Everything was going well last year until he got hurt. All of that withstanding, Woj co-signed what Boogie said about the offers. Well, a lot of people after the signing, magically, I guess you guys outscoop Woj. I'm so sorry.
You can't.
I'm not going to jump on that train of thought that, oh, no, he's lying about the offers he had. I feel like you had to be in kind of a bad place for you to even pick up the phone to call them.
Yeah.
Because you've been against what they've been doing from jump publicly, right? I know that's your boys or whatever, but still it's kind of like, yeah, we cool, but when I see y'all, I'm at your neck. For you to pick up that phone, the fact that you had to pick up a phone, call your agent, whether you made the call yourself, that sounded good to you meant that, like, as you said, that reputation stuff, it added on, and you ended up in a place where you by yourself. You didn't expect to be there. So you get an opportunity to go somewhere. People already saw all this crazy basketball stuff, like it's not going to fit. He's not going to do all this other stuff. If you average 5 assists on a team without elite shooters, what's that number going to look like, even in limited minutes, on a team with 3 of the best shooters we've ever seen? Secondly, we talk about what Dwight brings here, even, just bare minimum, your interior presence, being able to rebound the ball, things of that nature. People talk about, Golden State doesn't post up. With the centers they've had in the past, are you going to throw Zaza the ball on the block?
Absolutely not.
You going to throw JaVale on the ball on the block? So am I supposed to believe that all of a sudden they're not going to adapt? And, it's not even like adapting, it's common sense. Hey, Boogie got somebody on the block, eat. The double comes, hey, you kick it out to Steph. Life is good. But as you said, design for the mid-level, to me, it just meant that some of these GMs, I feel like some took the easy way. Some didn't have the money, and I get that. I feel like there's a group that took the easy way out,
and that was the big deal with the Wizards. They really didn't have a lot of money this offseason. That's what a lot of people don't understand.
That's why I'm not mad at them.
Yeah.
But some of the teams that had money, and you took some of these other people when Boogie's been available the entire time. Why? And I get the reputation, but at the same time, if you're trying to get better, and you're like light years behind where you are, right? At least talk to him to realize, I feel like the kid's not dumb. He knows he's not going to he can't demand $20 million coming off one leg right now. I feel like people just didn't do their job to a degree.
I think, like you said, I think it's just too many people paying attention to people that don't know the game. Like you said, a lot of people talking about the game, how they're going to fit. That tells me they don't understand the essence of what makes the Warriors special. It's not because they got a lot of great players, man. It's because they're unselfish and they fight for one another. They're highly skilled, they're intelligent, and they move that damn ball. So you have to be on the string defensively and offensively because they do the same thing defensively to beat them. You know what I'm saying? And that's hard. That's why it's hard to beat them. You know what I'm saying? That's why I applaud the Rockets. They went at their net.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And they kind of built their team similar to what the Warriors had. That's why they were able to match up. You know what I'm saying? So saying Boogie won't fit in, he's gonna fit in effortless. It's gonna be
It's
easy.
gonna be a seamless
My whole thing
transition.
is if you could play and win a championship with Zaza Pachulia at the 5 at times.
Not even that, bro. Think about it. You have to guard 4
Yeah.
dudes.
Yeah.
He's gonna have
Five
single
for the first
coverage
time.
for the first time in his life. You can't double. So it's either you gonna watch him score or he's gonna have close to double digit assists. So what you want?
Pick
And
your
y'all really
poison.
think that's gonna be easy? And you know, I hear people, well, he ain't gonna be the same coming off the Achilles. They don't need him to be the same. Just be the minimum, dog. Man, we gonna make you look better than what you
Look,
are,
the
dog.
bar at center was so low for them, and they won 3 the last
Son,
4.
they made JaVale McGee a coveted free agent.
He
He
got
was out the
paid.
league before he got to the Warriors. They made him a coveted
Yeah, he
free
definitely
agent.
was out the league because I was like, they picked up. Oh, okay, and then all of a sudden it was like,
He came in on like a trial contract. It was not guaranteed. You know, and this is where we're gonna do this whole thing. You brought up the Rockets. One thing I want to talk about so much is I don't think people understand how much they're gonna miss Trevor Ariza.
Yeah.
see,
All
that's
right. I got you.
that's where I was gonna come back to. I was like, that's the one that I was kind of like, huh. But I thought about it a little bit. I don't know if it's just because, you know, I was thinking he would probably stay because, you know, the Rockets were on the cusp of doing something good. And you would think he would want to be around for something like that. But thinking back on, I mean, he has won a ring with the Lakers previously. Maybe it's not about that at this point. Maybe he wants to go somewhere else where he feels like he can contribute more or whatever. But that was probably the one that kind of got me like,
No, they ain't even sign him because they had to make a decision between him and Capella.
oh, makes sense.
So they can't lose Capella because they need bigs now. You gotta be
Yeah.
you need a big now to be able to contend. So they're just like, you know what? That's why they signed Michael Carter Williams now. But that's the thing. They signed him. They couldn't sign Capella. So they still haven't even signed Capella yet. So they better hope Capella come back. Otherwise, they really out the
0 for 2
deal.
They
in
gonna
that
be-
situation.
Yeah, that's bad.
Like you just took 5.
But they
steps
definitely
back.
gonna
Yeah.
miss Trevor, yeah.
I mean, yeah, because a lot of the small ball lineups, like that was the glue. It's kind of okay. So we saw how out of place the Warriors looked for a little bit when Iggy went down. I'm not saying Ariza's Iggy, but in that thing where they try to shape, you know, their version
Of the Warriors,
you know, the Rockets version of it. Ariza was that guy that he can do a little bit of everything.
Man, look, his impact
defensively was
yeah,
crazy.
Exactly.
He was the one that made KD work those few games when KD was off taking back. He was the main reason for that. He got up in KD and stuff, and he bothered him. You know, until he on KD calmed down, just allow him to take what you give me. But you can't replace that, man. And it's a lot of teams that do that year after year. Y'all right, it'd be like y'all right there on the verge, and y'all let these key players go. And then wonder why it never
all the way
really
backwards.
maximizes. It never gets to where it should.
And you know, we hear the term glue guy all the time. Like those type of guys are the reason you say why it's so important. The holes on that team defensively, if you remove him, Lord Capella's going to be defended by himself.
And now what he gonna do with Boogie? He gonna be like Kemba. Where the help at? That's all you gonna hear. Where the help at?
Why you
Like,
always bringing my man back? All right, so
That's
before
the
we
most
leave,
famous
hey, look,
joke ever, man.
it was so funny because it came from a place. My man was like, seriously, y'all, like, what I'm supposed to
Cause he was trying to get that stuff, man. But he like, where the help at? Like,
I can only imagine you running off 3 screens, staggered different places, full speed, and then you
Hey,
turn
dog.
around, this dude give the ball up, come back on the other side.
man,
just
he
like,
held the dude. That's what I'm saying.
Like, it's
And
not-
man, that one joint in the corner where Kemba just took a step, said, man. Just watch that joke go. Like, man, that's when I was like, oh, it's real, man.
Hey, like I felt bad because he literally intended to try to play good defense, but
He was trying to get that stuff, man.
it's a team thing to defend that guy, and that's one thing people understand. It's not a one person.
And not just him, Clay.
It's everybody that grab it. It's tough. All right, so before we get out of this free agent thing, Austin Rivers, Jeff Green, Dwight Howard, and Thomas Bryant, because I want to make sure we don't forget the young big. How does this help the Wizards? Because we know there's a lot of doom and gloom type people out here with the Wizards. Like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. You know, people get on Ernie, rightfully so. But at this point, you know,
I'm gonna give him props.
okay.
He came through with the limited amount of cap room that they had. He came through to get Dwight. You know what I'm saying? Get Jeff Green, who, man, look,
I thought that was a good
he got
pickup.
all-star talent, man. I don't know
I
why
think
it
that was a
had.
good pickup.
Yeah, I don't know why it hasn't outside of the heart surgery. I don't know why it hasn't really always came
You wanna know
together
what,
for
though?
him.
Him and Rudy Gave had them careers.
Yeah,
where
man. They
it's not a
tease.
talent.
They tease
They
the hell out
tease you
you.
when they're like positive
Like
situations,
Slum.
and they don't. I think what happens is when they start to get comfortable, they're moved
Look,
to a degree. But
That's a good point.
That's some of it. I'm not saying that's all of
But,
it.
bro,
but man,
we was at that game when he
When they
dunked on
dunked?
Mahimi.
Lord.
When he was almost at the top of the backboard. I was like, hold up. Like, I mean, look, man. when I say the Cowboys preseason game, when they started tripping, like, come on, man. LeBron ain't even playing. They had to get it. That tells you the talent that he has. He can shoot. He can post. He can actually play some point forward. He has all the tools. So I'm hoping he can bring it all together, man. That's the only thing with him, man. It's that Dwight just gotta realize this is Warren Bill's team, and just come in. I'm here to help you guys. If he do that, then it's like he did last year with.
And I think he will, though.
Yeah, because it might be his last rodeo.
Yeah.
In a sense, if he does that, they'll be fine. He's kind of the big that they've needed since. Forever. I'm gonna say forever. West Unsealed. Since Webb and all them guys were here, pretty much. Yeah, so he's the big defensively. Now it takes a lot of pressure off the guards. Like, okay, get past him. You got Big Dwight down there waiting. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you could play Jeff at the 4 sometimes. Mm-hmm. You still got Otto coming back, and then Oubre and Sato. So, these moves kind of put them right back in that mix with the Torontos, the Celtics, and the Sixers. They just got a hoop now. It's as simple as that. So, I like that. Now, instead of 3 teams, now it's 4 for real.
Right. And lastly, I just definitely don't want to – I know I mentioned Thomas Bryant earlier, but just having another young big he's a modern day big. He's still growing. The game's not completely developed yet, but that's something you didn't have on the roster last year. Give you the opportunity to have that type of dude. We saw last year without having any young legs, in the bigs department, it hurt. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, I know a lot of people laugh at Austin Rivers, all this other type of stuff. What I do like is he gives you, like Jeff Green, is more versatility. Right. And secondly, from a defensive standpoint, both him and Jeff can strap.
And he's a scorer.
Yeah.
He's a reliable scorer.
Somebody doesn't need to be fed as a scorer, too.
Right.
And he could create his own shots. He could pass. Coming off that pick and roll, he's dangerous. So you have to deal with him. And he's tough, and he's a vet. So those are keys where, as the season goes along, you're going to see their impact as they go along. People just like to go for the, I guess the Hollywood, the hype pick and everything on paper. Man. It don't work like that. And before we move on, they just sent out the Summer League rosters because I know people may hit me up. Obviously, rookie, the first-round pick, Troy Brown. He's on the team. Thomas Bryant, Sam Cassell Jr., local kid out of Baltimore. Chris Chio's out of Florida. Carrick Felix, he was here last year. Mm-hmm. Phil Goss out of Drexel. Aaron Harrison, who's with the Mavericks, he's here. Alan Herndon out of Wyoming. Tewan Kenley out of Morgan State. DeVar Moore out of Wake Forest. Devin Robinson out of Florida. Jalen Ross out of Hartford. Yusuf Sanan from Ukraine, that was the second-round pick. Mm-hmm. Philip Scrub out of Carlton, and Hen Yifeng out of China. That's the roster, and they begin play this Friday against the Cavs at 6 p.m. Cox Pavilion. So they playing in the Vegas Summer League, not the one you see in the LA. Or Sacramento.
So as we transition out of our NBA free agency segment, we can't have a show without 9-4-50 breakdown. So as we go ahead and head to this and then into break, which we'll see you on the other side of this week, Jamal Haywood is showing us drag dribble options. Again, it's drag dribble options. Shout out to Jamal Haywood at 9-4-50. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break. You're watching the Focus TV.
Never cross your feet when you do drag because you won't do really the option. So I'll drag, you can pull, or you can cross, or go between. Same thing on the left also too, all right?
Welcome back to the Focus TV again. Thank you to Jamal Haywood over at 9-4-50 for the weekly breakdown. And this week you guys just saw the drag dribble options. Octavia, the Pitts League, the regular season has concluded.
It has.
That means the second season is here. if you could run us through these brackets real quick, please.
Of course. So you got the women's division playoff brackets. Currently, the number 1 seed is going to be Team Anonymous, who's going to take on the number 8 seed, Black Lives Matter. Number 2 seed, Renee Strong, is going to take on the number 7 seed, the Hawks. The 4 seed, Concrete Playground, is going to take on Maryland Jewels, the 5th seed. And then the Vets, the 3 seed, is going to take on Bird Gang, which is the 6th seed. And their playoffs start on the 14th of July. So not this weekend, the weekend after. This weekend on Sunday, July 8th, is going to be the men's playoffs. It's going to start. And for the brackets for the men's, we have the number 1 seed, JNR's Mob, who's going to be taking on nobody because they got a bye. As well as the number 2 seed, Core, who also has a bye. You have the number 3 seed is going to be No Losses. Rich Grills is taking on the number 6 seed, Baseline. The number 4 seed is taking on the number 5 seed. 4 seed is Black Power. The 5th seed is Bottom of the 5. The 7 seed is taking on the 10 seed. 7 seed is the Young Kings versus the 10 seed, NOTME Entertainment. And then you have your number 8 seed, Virginia Pride, taking on the number 9 seed, Sam's Ballers. Game starts Sunday, July 8th, 2 o'clock, Largo.
All right, so Piss League playoffs. It should be a good time. All right, you guys, as Octavia said, get out to Largo High School and check that out. So, DC United, if you've been under a rock, because apparently, it's kind of sort of big news.
It is.
It's a big deal. So, Wayne Rooney, heard the rumors past couple months or whatnot, and, we kind of do our best to stay away from rumors and speculation. So, we like to live in, facts and reality and such. Now that he's officially signed, which is what Monday's introductory press conference was for, it was at the museum, so that was cool. Check that out. It was a really nice room. It was a real nice vibe to it. The Mayor Mario Bowser, declared July 2nd Wayne Rooney Day.
Okay.
That was kind of cool. He got his own day. Cardell, don't be like that.
He been for a hot minute and already got a daggone day.
He was here for like 10 minutes. She made a quick declaration real quick. Shout out to Wayne. All right, so gonna just share a couple quotes from him real quick. A lot of people ask just why did he choose to come here? Obviously, being at Everton, we can get into the reasons why he's not there anymore for another time. Transfer window officially opens July 10th, so that's when he's going to be literally officially able to join his teammates. But they don't have a game on July 10th. Their first game will be July 14th, which is the inaugural opening match at Audi Field, which I can't wait to finally see because the pictures look amazing. The renderings, it's cool to see the renderings kind of come to life. But back to Wayne, and this is a response on what made DC United the right fit. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but here we go. Obviously, we're a young team and we need to improve. I think that's clear to see. We have to improve and start getting better results. I think there's talent on the team. Maybe with a little bit of guidance and a little bit of help on and off the pitch, I can help them and they can help me. So I'm looking forward to it. A new challenge, a new culture, a new league to play in, and new teammates. I'm excited for the first game and I can't wait to get started. Obviously, there's a lot of, happy things to be said or whatnot. But what I like about Wayne is he plays with an edge. And I don't care how old he is. That's part of his makeup. It's something that if you have a young team, that's a great thing to bring into it. As a veteran, is somebody who's been doing what he does at a very high level for a long time. Overseas, obviously. MLS is a little bit different. It might take him a little bit of time to get used to it. But I have faith that he will. I'm anxious to see where he plays. That first match to see if there's going to be a tactical shift or if he's going to play kind of, is he going to settle into midfield or are they going to move Darren Maddox from up top and let Wayne play up there? We don't know as of now, but he did make it clear that he's already talked to manager Ben Olsen, so he knows where he'll be playing. So we're anxious to see how that plays out. The team is currently 2-7-4. Obviously, that's not great at this time. It's 2 wins, 7 losses, 4 draws. Keep in mind, they've only had 2 home games because their stadium is not opened officially. So they play the Galaxy tomorrow on July 4th in LA. Then they come back. They'll be training Friday morning, which is to be the first time that Wayne gets to kind of meet the entire team because they've been on the road since last week. They played in New England last week. They lost 3-2, I believe, headed straight out to LA. So he's been here with some of the players who are trying to rehab and whatnot, going through a couple training sessions. But, I just want everybody kind of just take their time, not get crazy. Things don't happen overnight. But one of the good things is, don't expect the championship or anything crazy like that. Just if they can make a run to get into the playoff picture. would be a big thing. I may just see how he fits in with some of the young guys they have here. Luciano Costa's taking a big step forward this year. He's literally been, just big time as a facilitator for this team. Paul Areola is starting, to find his role. They moved him inside as well. So depending on where they move Wayne, that's why I'm excited and anxious at the same time to see how all this fits. Are they going to have to change their formation or not? But we'll keep you posted in the coming days. Cardell, rapid fire. We got time for some good questions, man. Birdman clap, really?
Rubs hands like Birdman.
Should I say T. Cloud? I'm saying, no.
Right.
Bucks quarterback Jameis Winston suspended 3 games by the NFL after inappropriately touching a female Uber driver in March of 2016. In Scottsdale, Arizona, Winston is required to obtain a clinical evaluation. What are your thoughts? We're going to start with the lady.
My first thing that I think about is it was in 2016 what took them so long.
Uh-oh.
I mean, if it was, something that was really, really serious, I'm just throwing it out there, not sure. I have a question first. Has he come out and admitted to this?
He has admitted, to the best of my knowledge, he's admitted that something's happened. Okay. That there was, inappropriate touching, groping, etc., not going past that.
Well, then he gets what he deserves. Because everybody has learned their entire life to keep your hands to yourself unless, it's actively wanted by somebody. So, I mean, I think it's a good thing. It's showing that the NFL is at least trying to be, on the right side of things for the first time, it seems. But, yeah, I mean, if he did it and he was man enough to do it, he's man enough to take the consequences.
I'm going to defer my answer. Get over to mymonosports.com to check out Eddie's recent piece on this whole matter. Eddie said it pretty well. And Eddie's taking the position that he should be cut. So, Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans, head over there and see why Eddie feels so strongly. Cardell?
I mean, I'm kind of along those lines. He's had way too many situations since college, man. And I mean, it's sad, but at what point do you need to look in the mirror and set responsibility, man?
Those are great points.
I just see that across not just sports but society. It's too many people doing not just dumb stuff and thinking they can get away with it. Then when the heat comes, it's hate or it's not what they trying to justify in some way. Nah, man, you are what you are, man. When you keep doing stuff as a habit, that's what you are. And how can you be a leader and man as a quarterback when you keep making these silly mistakes, man? At some point, I'm going to lose respect for you as a man, especially when some of these mistakes keep involving women. Homie, he just need to grow up, man. And, I read somewhere he dropped his representation. I don't know if that has something to do with that, man. I'm like, look, man, I mean, what's that going to do? You can't hide or shield your BS.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So until he own up a man up, man, you're going to have more situations like this. And sooner or later, I think he got 3 games, so this might be his last strike. If he getting some more stuff, he might be out the league. So, we'll see. WNBA, who is your front runner for MVP? You have Maya Moore, Breanna Stewart, Shanae Gwumake, Diana Taurasi, Liz Cambage, and Candace Parker kind of leading the pack. Who would you vote for MVP right now?
I will hear your answer first.
Wow. Like right now?
No copper, please get to speak.
I definitely was going to try to figure out how I could hedge this. Can I check the standings real quick? Is that acceptable? Is that okay?
It's not rapid enough. It's like, no.
Am I allowed to do that, please, sir?
All
right. You can't be coming with questions like that.
Come on, man.
Oh, man, you can't do that.
In the fire, rapid fire, I'm on.
Stewie.
Okay. As you call love, but go ahead.
Okay, just real quick. Of the names you shared, 3 of them were UConn. So you were going to give me that answer. The percentages of that. That's tough.
Right.
I'm going to defer to Wilson because I know he knows his stuff. And I agree with you. If that's what you say, I agree.
You don't put me out there like that.
Because I know it's a tough decision. So I was like, if Wilson said that,
I I want to hear your answer.
Oh, I'm going with Tarazi. Who number one in the league?
That's
you
the
know,
other
it's
one that I was
simple. I
thinking
mean, but Maya Moore, she's
She's
on her
coming
ass.
up. That's the only reason
I see
I
what she doing
yeah.
last 6-7 games. She like enough of this, man.
Last
She
7
having
games,
like
at
30
least
out here.
20 plus,
She on a mission right now.
Tight
But
race.
Tarazi got that, you know, for right now. Just her all around game. You know, even against the Mystics, she shot horrible. She still was making plays, feeding the girls,
Find a way
and
to
running
make
that
it
show,
work, yeah.
man.
Yep.
So
You still got to account
hey,
for
man,
it. Good day or bad day.
Always.
like and here's the thing, man. They appreciate guys like LeBron's longevity. They need to appreciate hers, man.
I was about to say, because she been.
And she hasn't missed a beat, man.
Nope.
She still look the same, lighting them up. I think she lead the league in 3-point for shooting, assists. It's crazy, man. She's doing it all, man. But that's why she's arguably in that GOAT conversation, you know, the best to ever do it. So, you know how that goes. It is what it
Okay, I
is.
just add one thing real quick. All the names that you mentioned is like 3 of the WNBA's top 5 scorers. Just explaining why this decision was kind
Oh,
of
no
tough
doubt.
real quick. That's all. Just throwing that out there.
Sir Charles Barkley said the Celtics are the team to beat in the East over the next 10 years. What are your thoughts?
I feel like it's too early to say that because you don't really, you haven't seen their full team. You know, I mean, with the pieces that they have, I mean, I can see how you would possibly think that in the future, but you've never seen them all gel together. Everybody's still wondering how the rotation is going to fit now that Gordon Hayward's going to come back next year. So, I mean, I can't really agree yet. I can see that's a possibility depending on how everything works out. But, I mean, there's already reports talking about Kyrie trying to figure out how to play with Jimmy Butler. Is Jimmy coming to the Celtics? Is he leaving the Celtics? Like, what? So I think it's a little bit.
Kyrie, don't do that, brother.
I think it's a little bit pump your brakes. You know, Jimmy Butler trying to get out of Minnesota, and apparently they're both supposed to be free agents next year. So apparently they're trying to work out a way where they can play together. So way too early to make that decision.
10 years, it's hard to answer that, so I don't understand how he felt comfortable just doing that. Obviously, the East is wide open. You know, everybody knows what Boston did last year. It was remarkable. Just like we haven't seen Boston full strength, we haven't seen Philadelphia full strength.
Nope.
So I'm not going to jump down, you know, go that far. If he was saying something like, you know, maybe Philly and Boston will battle out for like the next 5 years, I could probably get on somewhere with that. Maybe because that's not too crazy. But to just jump all the way out Boston wholeheartedly, I just disagree with him strongly.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. 10 years.
Like that, like
with
10.
these players.
If he said 2 years, I might be okay.
They
Like,
switch so quick, man. You don't know if these guys gonna be there, man. You know, it's
when you
like,
think about it, everyone's taking a 1-and-1 deal. It's like,
and it ain't even that, man. Like, look at the Celtics roster. If all these players become what they're projected to be, what they're showing they're capable of being, they can't keep all those players.
Nope.
You know, Brown gonna be like, I want my max. Tatum was like, I know I want my max. Rozier, I want my max. Kyrie be like, where my money? I'm out. It's gonna be hard to keep all those players. And meanwhile, Danny Ainge still sitting on like 3 first-round picks. He gonna be adding. Hell, Robert Williams might, you know, he might become a max player. And so, like, I mean, it's come on, Chuck, 10 years, man. And this is not the 80s, man. That's why I think he's still stuck in sometimes, man. This ain't the 80s where you draft a player, they there for a minute unless you trade them. But oh yeah, definitely over the next 5 years. Oh yeah, to get out the East, they gonna have a lot to say about that, especially if they're healthy. So, you know, that's why they, you know, roll the balls out and play. You know, it is what it is. Terrell Owens announced he would give his Hall of Fame induction speech at his alma mater, Tennessee, Chattanooga. You know, drawing mixed reviews, but how do y'all feel about that?
I feel like it's T.O. Like, I would expect nothing less from him to do something out of the ordinary.
That's a great answer, too.
To just do what he wants to do, basically. He's been doing that his entire career, so I'm not surprised at all that he's just like, I'm going to do this. And, you know, he did not show up to something when he first got announced. I can't remember what it was. But, yeah, I'm not even surprised. I didn't even blink an eye when I read that report.
well, Octavia, like, I don't agree with it. I wish he would attend. Even with the whole stuff with him and the writers and whatnot, I feel like he should be there. That being said, he's marched to the beat of his own drum this entire time. The least I can do is, if you've been consistent,
give it to him. Yeah.
You know, just like you said, it's one of those this is my way type things, and I respect it from afar.
Hopefully he doesn't regret it.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, it's cool to share that with your alma mater because, you know, obviously it's a small school. Not many people even get that kind of honor, if any. I'm not sure, you know.
Right.
But This would have been one time I'd love to see him go, just to show them same writers who painted him as self-serving, egomaniac, and all that, to show them, no, you were wrong. And at the end of the day, that's not even about them. That's about you celebrating with all these legends that built the NFL from decades ago. That, truth be told, some of them are older. They may not be here next year, and you're missing out on a chance to mingle with them. Forget them, right? You ain't even got to address them. They can come up to you like, "Hey, T.O., get out my face." You ain't even got to address any writers. You did a mix with the legends like you. So that's just one time where, that could have been also a great lesson for a lot of people. Where, man, sometimes, man, it ain't about you. It's bigger than you. You got to swallow your pride and just ignore the nonsense and just seize the moment, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that don't come around every day, man.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I hope he don't regret it.
Yeah, and I think he will, man. Like, you don't get, that's legendary, man. It's just, you get to be there amongst the legend, and they will and I think that will ease all that pain he got, because when you got, like, say, Dick Buckus and Dion and, Jay Wright, all these guys saying you belong here, though, like, that's it. You don't need to hear nothing else. You good.
Validation from writers, anything
you
else.
Good. You can walk away. You good. You know what I'm saying? So. Next question. Should Adam Silver realign the playoffs?
Octavia?
I don't see why not. I mean, I feel like everybody's saying it now because of, like we said, the last 48 hours. But I would like to see it. I mean, even if, I don't know if they do trial bases in the NBA, like even if they did it on a trial basis for 1 year and see how it work out, maybe not fully commit to it. But, I mean, in the playoffs, I want to see the best teams play the best teams. So I would love to see it. I don't know if it'll actually happen. But, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I mean, I'm cool. I don't mind it, but I don't want it now because of why.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
People are asking for it. So I'm going to remain
because their team will get left out.
Just because, like, we're in a place where, well, maybe it'd be easier over there for, your prospective team to get in a different route or something like that. Nah, just leave it how it is, man. Y'all gonna keep moving between conference and conference anyway, so just play.
I'm just tired of people always saying something need to be changed, but it don't go their way. It's getting old, man. It's old, man. Like, look, man. You can have 1 through 16. Whatever the dominant conference is or the dominant teams in that region, they're going to take up most of the playoff spots. It's not really going to change anything. Plus, on top of that, it's going to add so much wear and tear during the playoffs. Like I said, what if Portland got to go play Orlando? And they got to keep going back and forth, man. Like, that's going to, come on, man. Like, and then you think players getting hurt now, or they got to expand that playoff, man. That dude's going to be, this going to be the second round now. They're going to be playing the finals in late July and stuff. And y'all like, man, this.
That's extra.
And then you complaining about the season.
Yeah. And especially because they play so many, they expanded the series to 7 as opposed to back in the day when it was 5.
And to me, it's also letting the bad teams off the hook. No, step your game up, or you just gonna keep watching at home when playoff time comes.
Or you're gonna get in the playoffs and lose in the first round.
Exactly, that comes with it, man. Just like majority, if you look at it through history, since Russell and them they dominated with the Celtics decades ago. Most of the teams in the East, most of the teams in the playoffs have been dominated by the East. Most of the champions are the Eastern Conference teams. You know what I'm saying? So. I mean, the Lakers take up most of the championships from out west, so why didn't you change it then? Yeah. You see that it goes in cycles. Just like sooner or later, you see the East, they got a lot of young talent where if they maximize their potential, they will be the dominant conference moving forward. And the West, these guys are the guys that dominate the West down in the prime. They're going to get older. Mm-hmm. Them young boys out East they're going to be ready to take over. It happens. So you can't. All this changing stuff, man, just step your game up, man. Stop trying to, skip steps and everything to make it easy. No, front office, do your job. Players develop, work on your game, do your job, and then the results will show. It's as simple as that.
Especially for the players that decided to go over there. Like,
that's my point.
You decided to go there, and you can't decide to go there and now say, all right, everybody over here that's good, we going to go to the playoffs. Like,
the other part about that is people will be mad, but if you do that, it might be easier for the dominant teams. I'm not going to lie, because that means it puts your prospective contender that you wouldn't see until later from the other conference, these are first or second round L's. And then you're skating by.
Thank you. Like, what if the Raptors playing the Warriors in the first round? Or the Rockets were the first seed. What they playing the Rockets or Warriors in the first round? They're going up.
And then what?
You see
what I'm saying? The path of resistance changes.
That's true.
Now everything changes. Oh. Now say you throw Philly in the mix with some of the good West teams or something. They get them out there early. And now you got Philly, which is a young team or whatever, or Boston. against Golden State or something that happens, and then you're left with like somebody want to watch the Blazers and Warriors in the finals,
and or the Cavs. They were like middle of the pack in the East. So if they had to play the Rockets or Jazz or somebody like that or the Warriors, no, you see what I'm saying? So you want what if LeBron would have went on the first round?
Oh man, y'all would have been mad.
Then they would be complaining. Y'all need to go back to the conference 1 through 8.
Hey,
man,
look,
what y'all
nothing
doing?
was wrong with it. Last question, man.
Hey man, so Dwight Howard and Jeff Green, obviously we talked on it. They joined the Wizards. Where do you think this vault the Wizards?
Xavier?
I feel like, I don't want to say the word vault because I feel like the Wizards have been in the mix this entire time. And I feel like they've just been missing pieces. I think that these 2 pieces that they picked up are good pieces, but I'm just always worried about how it all meshes together. So I think it will actually, because, 2 years ago they were, top 2 in the top 3 in the East. And then it was just this year they were top of the East this year. And all of a sudden they fell all the way back to 8. So I just feel like that, it could keep them back where they were if it all works out. But I'm just always so nervous about DC sports and and it's like everything always looks so good on paper and it looks like that it should work out, that that they've got, to me, they got some of the key pieces that they needed. Like you guys used to always touch on about needing stretch fours, needing big players down and people to come off the pick and roll with John Wall and other people to create without having to have John Wall create for them. So, I think it will work, and I think it will solidly put them in that top. I guess everybody now is saying in the East you got the Raptors, the Celtics, and I think it will include the Wizards within that. It's just kind of hard to see how it's all going to pan out.
All right, Cardell.
Like I said, I think if they're in the top 4 with those guys, like you said, they got to get their chemistry together. How would Dwight mesh? How would Jeff Green fit? Would John Wall come back better? And the reason why they were able, because John Wall missed half the season. Can they stay healthy? Would if one of those guys fall, then it's the same deal. So can they stay healthy and just get that chemistry right? I don't think it'll be too hard to get the chemistry because John Wall's a playmaker, one of the best in the game. But if he could stay healthy and everything, I think they'll be fine by the time, the real show begins. And don't lose the bad teams, what I'm saying? Don't drop bad, be who you're supposed to be. And just stay locked in, and then everything should be fine.
Yeah, I agree with both of you wholeheartedly. As you talked about with the injuries, some of the depth that you have now, you may not have to play John and Brad all these ridiculous minutes. That might avoid some of the things even with the bad teams where those guys playing ridiculous minutes. It's hard on both of those guys. Secondly, you got more creators on the floor. They don't have to do as much. And it changes how defenses are going to defend them now. Some of the screens with Dwight, that's going to change things. On the court, I like the additions. It's just someone got to step forward as a true leader on this team and a culture, and everybody got to fit their role. Where John talked about at the end of the year, find your role, be a star in it. Like it's this team's led by the backcourt. Everybody else needs to fall in line after that, and it'll be fine. They've had an issue, I think, in past years. Like John's, exit interview last year, that spoke volumes to me. Like just volume. So
he's the leader, man.
Yeah,
and he could be better too.
Yeah, and that's on him too. If he can mature and take the next step as a leader, you can maybe start to get somewhat of a better culture here and go forward. Because there's a lot of positive things about him. If he takes the next step as a leader, if the team takes on those same positive things, it becomes different. So it's for them, as much as important we talk about on the court, it's really about chemistry and then developing a good culture going forward. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Get over to finestmag.com, mymononsports.com, and this is the Focus TV. We'll see you guys next week.